Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show. I'm Swapnil Joglekar. It's the 21st of November 2023 and here are the questions we'll be answering today. Why can't Indian Railways manage the annual Chhath rush? What will be the impact of direct-to-mobile broadcasting? Is Tata Tech IPO worth your money? And what is GRAP? At this time of the year, millions of men, women and children embark on an arduous journey to their homes in Bihar for Chhath. It's a yearly phenomenon. We know it and Indian Railways knows it. Yet every year, we see visuals of people crammed in train bogies. Some are forced to take shelter in toilets, while others precariously hang from its doors in their desperate bid to reach home. But why? Why can't Indian Railways manage the Chhath rush? Kasturi Akhil looks for the answer.
Indian Railways flagged off 283 special trains to meet the Chhath Puja rush this time. But they simply couldn't meet the rush yet again. A stampede at Surat railway station left one person dead and 4 others injured. Most other stations also saw stampede-like situations. Visuals of people trying to gain a foothold on train coaches flooded social media platforms. Besides overcrowding, trains were also running late. Some were 7 hours behind the schedule. Data between April to October 2023 also suggests a significant shift. Non-AC coaches, including general and sleeper classes, carried a staggering 95% of the total passengers. That was 378 crore passengers, a jump of 38 crore when compared to the previous period. It suggests the growing preference for economical travel options. AC coaches, meanwhile, carried just 4.7% of the total passengers. It was a jump of 3.1 crore. Media reports recently revealed that compared to pre-pandemic days, 562 additional trains are being run on a daily basis by the railways to cater to a 41 crore increase in passengers during the April to October period in 2023. And currently, the country has 34 Vande Bharat trains operational.
Crowd which you see in the photographs appearing in newspapers and other places they belong to the bottom strata of the society. Now, just for example, the ticket of ride from Bombay to Patna costs 400 rupees. Now, a similar fare is not available either by bus or by car or by any mode of transport. So they all want to travel by the general second class. Now, Vande Bharat, as it is, it doesn't have any second class accommodation. Plus, instead of 24 coach, it's of 16 coach. So the accommodation available even for the people who can afford to travel by, say, AC class is not there. It's shrunk by 30% from 22 to 16. And then we have introduced LHB coaches in a big way. The earlier version, ICF coaches were self-generating type. LHB coaches are having a generation called end-on generation, in which the end coaches we have to provide the power cast generator sets to supply electricity to the coaches because they can't produce electricity on their own. Now, what has happened? The space which was meant for the general second class coaches has been occupied by the generator car.
As far as new trains like Vande Bharat are concerned, their number is not that large that they should impact the operations of the normal trains. After all, in the entire country, at the moment you are running less than 50 Vande Bharat trains. And I don't think that either the station upgradation or trains like Vande Bharat should or are impacting the services. In fact, what is impacting the services is a complete chalta hai attitude. It is a careless attitude that is what has to go away.
Several agitated passengers slammed the authorities and alleged the railways has reduced general and sleeper coaches in festive special trains for economic gains. However, documents accessed by a news website showed that the viral claims were false and the number of coaches were not reduced. A special train has a total of 22 coaches, including 4 general and 6 to 7 non-AC sleeper coaches.
The problem is of capacity creation. Lot of capacity addition has been taken place, but still it is not good enough. And I'll give you the example. 80% was the railway share in transportation in 1950. Now it is shrunk to 27% in freight and 10% in passenger. But again, say railways has to grow very fast to tackle and somehow reverse the change, and that's why we have a national railway policy. We want to increase the participation to about 43% by 2030 and sustain it till 2050. But to make it, you have to almost double the capacity every 3 years to do it. There's such a large challenge.
The government too has conceded that there is an urgent need to increase the capacity as the railway infrastructure bursts at seams during the festive rush. Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has said that at present, the railways is carrying about 800 crore passengers annually, and it has to increase to 1,000 crore in 4 to 5 years to meet the growing population. Also, railways should notify and start the reservation process for special trains well in advance, as is the case with normal scheduled trains. The railways announced 283 festival special trains for Diwali and Chhath Puja on 23rd of October, just 20 days before Diwali.
Planned introduction of over 3,000 new trains in the next 5 years will certainly offer some relief to passengers. Meanwhile, in another good news, the government is exploring the feasibility of beaming TV channels directly on your mobile phones. This service will not need an internet connection. However, the telecom companies are not happy. But why? And what will be the impact of direct to mobile broadcasting? Tariq Ahmed explores.
The government is considering beaming TV content directly to mobile phones without a cellular data connection. The Department of Telecommunications and India's public service broadcaster, Prasar Bharati, are exploring the feasibility of this technology. But it needs the mobile device to be equipped with an Advanced Television Systems Committee or ATSC standards to function. IIT Kanpur and Prasar Bharati demonstrated this service recently, but the smartphone manufacturers Samsung and Qualcomm and telecom gear makers Ericsson and Nokia are not happy. They sent a letter to the Ministry of Communication on the matter last month, saying that currently the phones in India are not equipped with ATSC 3.0 standard, and if the ATSC 3.0 is to be introduced into the mobile phones, the handset prices will increase by at least $30. The letter also claimed that the direct-to-mobile broadcasting will hamper the battery performance and cellular reception. In a different letter dated 16th of October, India Cellular and Electronics Association or ICEA, which is a lobbying group of smartphone makers like Apple and Xiaomi, has also opposed the proposed move. It said that currently no major handset maker globally supports ATSC 3.0. The technology exists in countries like the US and South Korea, but the reception of this technology has been limited due to the lack of devices that support it. For the Indian government, the live TV broadcast features are a way to offload the congestion on telecom networks due to higher video consumption. At the moment, India is the biggest video content consumer in the world. According to a report by Media Partners Asia, a 15-month period spanning January 2022 to March 2023, Indians spent 6.1 trillion minutes online just watching videos. The proposal is still under deliberation and there is no fixed timeline for implementation. So, if India mandates equipping smartphones with ATSC 3.0 standards to receive live TV signals, what impact will that have on the consumers?
If this is implemented by the government, it will have a slightly positive impact on the consumers, especially for those people who are residing in remote locations, far off places, rural areas where they don't have access to good internet connection. So for them, this will be a boon. They'll be able to access the broadcasting TV channel services on their smartphone, which is more convenient. Also, direct-to-mobile services can provide higher video quality resolution streaming like 4K and better audio quality using the broadcasting airwaves, which also offers lower latency. So it will enhance the overall user experience.
And how will it impact mobile phone manufacturers?
The manufacturers will incur a very large cost and will, in theory, be investing in a standard which is not very widely used, and and it will obviously affect the economics of their business, whether it is the production at some kind of scale of these things, or of course the increased cost, which would in theory of course translate into less demand in some ways. I mean, because consumers tend to be sensitive to price. So unless manufacturers can justify subsidizing this, the costs would be some things that would deter manufacturers, and it is something that policymakers and regulators must keep in mind.
But there are limits for the government to mandate such a technology.
The legality of that also will become an issue because the players are licensed players. They have, their licenses provide them with both obligations as well as rights. So it is not something that should be attempted without careful consideration.
Experts believe that the direct to mobile broadcasting will deal a blow to the telecom service providers.
Operators will also not be very much happy if this implementation happens because since now voice is mostly free and not a very big revenue source for them, data is the only major revenue source for the operators, given the lower ARPU of the Indian subscribers. And video consumption forms the majority part of that data consumption. So that will lead to lower revenue sources, and operators might have to change or tweak their business model to implement the broadcasting services into their portfolio, which will also incur more capex, and they will also need to develop a different set of infrastructure to support such services. So it will have a negative impact on them.
Manufacturers believe that incorporating a separate baseband processing unit would significantly increase smartphone costs and potentially disrupt LTE and 5G networks' internal design. But what about consumers? Some experts believe that this technology has potential and it should be brought to the consumers once it is viable.
Let's now shift our focus to yet another big developing news. Dalal Street is gearing up for an IPO from the Tata Group after a gap of nearly 2 decades. The last Tata company to go public was IT bellwether TCS in 2004. And now, engineering services provider Tata Technologies will open its IPO on Wednesday. So is the much-hyped IPO worth your money? Harshita Singh tells us in this report.
Engineering, Research and Development or ER&D giant Tata Technologies is the first Tata Group firm to come up with an IPO since TCS went public in 2004. Expectedly, Dalal Street is excited about the offer, with the shares changing hands at Rs 850 in the grey market, up 70% over the upper price band of Rs 500. The euphoria comes as analysts have given a thumbs up to the company's issue, which is entirely an offer for sale of around 61 million shares. The IPO, they say, is reasonably priced, and the firm's long-term prospects are strong given significant room for growth in the automotive ER&D industry, where it primarily operates.
Tata Technologies Limited stands as a prominent global engineering services company specializing in delivering comprehensive product development and digital solutions, including turnkey offerings to esteemed original equipment manufacturers and their Tier 1 suppliers worldwide. Leveraging extensive domain expertise in the automotive sector, the company has successfully extended its capabilities to cater to clients in related industries such as aerospace, transportation, and heavy construction machinery. An evaluation of Tata Technologies reveals an earnings valuation of 32x based on its EPS as of 31st March 2023 and the upper price band. This suggests a relatively cheap valuation compared to its listed peers. Considering the favorable long-term growth prospects coupled with the company's attractive valuation, we recommend our investors to subscribe to the Tata Technologies Limited IPO.
When compared to listed peers, Tata Tech is commanding a PE of 32.5 times its FY23 EPS, while KPIT Tech and L&T Tech's PEs are expensive at 105 times and 40 times. Tata Tech derived 89% of its services business revenue from the automotive segment in FY23, while services business as a whole makes 80% of the company's total sales. Global automotive ER&D spending is expected to rise to $238 billion by 2026 from $180 billion in 2022, cementing the company's prospects in the long run.
Considering that it has deep expertise in the automotive industries, differentiated capabilities in new age automotive trends like electric vehicles, connected and autonomous vehicles, and a strong digital capabilities, along with marquee set of clients, we recommend investors to subscribe to this IPO with a long-term perspective.
That said, a key risk includes high dependence on a few number of clients, especially in the automotive industry. The top 5 clients, including Tata Motors and JLR, accounted for 64% of Tata Tech's total revenue in first half of FY24. However, it is gradually diversifying the revenue concentration. Thus, attractive valuations and credibility of the Tata brand is expected to lead a bumper demand for the IPO. Today, on November 21, investors will keep an eye on the minutes of the Fed's latest policy meeting.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.
Clouds of global uncertainty hovering over the Lal Street have almost dispersed as of now, thanks to easing inflation in the US. But the haze of pollution enveloping the financial capital is still there, and the situation is worse in India's national capital, Delhi, where GRAP 3 measures are still in place. But what is GRAP, and how does it help reduce pollution? We explain it in this segment.
It is only in these days that people heave a sigh of relief when the Central Pollution Control Board announces that air quality has entered a very poor zone. That's what the pollution body said on Monday. With this, the Commission for Air Quality Management lifted the guidelines under Stage 4 or the Severe Plus category of the Graded Response Action Plan or GRAP. The air has been in the severe category for a while now. Delhi's Environment Minister Gopal Rai has also urged people to follow the rules as stages 1, 2 and 3 of GRAP were still in place. It means BS3 and BS4 diesel and petrol vehicles cannot enter the national capital. Graded Response Action Plan or GRAP is an emergency response mechanism which is only enforced when air pollution reaches a certain threshold. Formulated in 2017 by the Environmental Pollution Prevention and Control Authority and the Delhi government, it is a step-by-step plan to improve Delhi NCR's deteriorating air quality. It is invoked when AQI enters the poor category and is in the range of 201 and 300. When enforced, this category of GRAP measures includes heavy fines on garbage burning, closure of brick kilns, or strict enforcement of pollution control regulations in such kilns, mechanized sweeping and water sprinkling on roads with heavy traffic, and a strict ban on firecrackers. Stage 2 of GRAP is invoked when the AQI reaches the very poor category in the range of 301 to 400. Under this, the use of diesel generator sets is prohibited, parking fees are quadrupled, bus and metro services are increased, and people are discouraged from lighting fires. People with respiratory and cardiac conditions are advised to restrict their outdoor movement. Stage 3 of GRAP is clamped when the air pollution reaches the severe category. It is when PM 2.5 levels cross 250 micrograms per cubic meter or PM 10 crosses 430 micrograms per cubic meter, or when AQI is in the range of 401 to 450. In such a situation, brick kilns, hot mix plants, and stone crushers are shut. Power generation from natural gas is ramped up, people are encouraged to use public transport, and the mechanized cleaning and sprinkling of water on roads are carried out more frequently. And the last stage of GRAP, the fourth one, is clamped when AQI breaches the 450 mark. In it, PM 2.5 concentrations shoot over 300 micrograms per cubic meter, or PM 10 levels are above 500 micrograms per cubic meter for more than 48 hours. It is a severe plus or emergency situation. Under it, heavy vehicles like trucks are stopped from entering Delhi. Only those with essential commodities are allowed. Construction work is suspended. The government also sets up a task force to decide on any additional steps, including shutting down schools, colleges, etc.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.
While in Punjab, where a maximum number of stubble burning incidents have been reported, at least 932 FIRs have been registered against farmers since November 8th. But clearly, an out-of-box solution is needed to fix this yearly menace. That's all for today. For more news, views and insights, please log into business-standard.com. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.